Welcome to Penny HQ. I am broadcasting from Wallet 46, a dedicated podcast node on the Penny Network. If you are listening to this, you are early. You are operating on day zero of a sovereign audio network. Before we look at the telemetry, before we look at the network momentum, we have to look backward. We have to understand exactly why we built this architecture and what we are destroying to make room for it. For the last 15 years, the music industry has operated under an illusion called the Pro-Rata system. It sounds fair in corporate boardrooms, but mathematically, it is a mechanism for bleeding the working artist. Here is how the legacy system works. You pay your $10 a month. You listen exclusively to your local indie punk band. But at the end of the month, your $10 doesn't go to that band. It goes into a massive global pool. From that pool, the money is distributed based on total global market share. Your $10 effectively paid Taylor Swift and Drake, while the band you actually streamed got fractions of a fraction of a penny. This severed the bloodline between the listener and the artist. As a listener, your financial intent was hijacked. As a musician, the value of your art was diluted into an algorithm that prioritized background noise over active engagement. The community suffered. The middle class of musicians was entirely hollowed out. Artists were told to be grateful for the exposure while the platforms hoarded the data, obfuscated the payouts, and built multi-billion-dollar valuations on the backs of uncompensated labor. We looked at that system, and we realized it couldn't be reformed. It had to be replaced. Enter Penny. Penny is not a streaming service. Penny is a sovereign audio node. We are an infrastructure layer designed to enforce absolute, immutable mathematical transparency. We replace the corporate black box with one undeniable truth. Every single stream costs exactly 1 penny. No pools, no market share algorithms, no obscure calculations. When a listener node pushes play on a track, that 1 penny is instantly cleared and distributed. We stripped out the middlemen, and we hard-coded the splits. 71% goes directly to the rights holder. 26% goes to Penny to maintain the ecosystem. 3% is routed to the node infrastructure.
When you use Penny, you are not a user, you are a node. You hold a wallet. You hold sovereignty over your data, your listening habits, and your capital. If you stream an artist 100 times, you know with absolute certainty that exactly 71 pennies landed in their vault. That is the philosophical foundation. Now, let's get under the hood. Let's talk architecture. Let's talk about what is actually happening when you authenticate and pull data from this network. Penny is built on a highly modular, decoupled stack designed for absolute precision and speed. We are running a React front-end, hardened for extreme edge cases, communicating with a Firebase and Cloud-Run back-end that handles our real-time ledger. The ledger in Firestore? We don't use standard relational databases for telemetry. We use Firestore. Why? Because we need real-time, instantaneous synchronization. When a stream clears, it doesn't wait for a nightly batch job. It fires an event that updates the global tally immediately. The 7-day stream velocity you see on your dashboard, that is pulled from a live platform stats document. We built a strict filter isolation protocol to ensure label metadata never bleeds. When you query American Record Company, you get American Record Company. No cross-contamination. The Apple iOS Media Session Protocol. If you want to know how deep the engineering goes, look at our lock screen integration. Apple's iOS Safari is notoriously hostile to web-based audio players. It drops metadata. It drops artwork. To fix this, we didn't just pass standard URLs, we rebuilt the Media Session Handler. We inject the artwork synchronously the millisecond the audio play promise resolves. Hard-coding explicit 512 by 512 and 256 by 256 pixel JPEG arrays directly into the Navigator object to force Apple to respect the stream.
The dashboard and the global network momentum. When you log in, you aren't just looking at a static profile. You are looking at a live terminal. We built a global telemetry toggle. In one click, you can switch from viewing the isolated metrics of your personal vault to viewing the macro momentum of the entire Penny network. Right below the Genesis wallets, we injected a highly modular electric blue telemetry banner. It aggregates active nodes and lifetime network streams on component mount, optimizing read operations while delivering a striking visual representation of our collective growth. Identity and Nexus Social. Look at the top navigation bar. You won't see generic placeholders. We pull your specific identity directly from your auth token, falling back to your email prefix, and finally to Sovereign Node, styling it as a high-contrast terminal readout. This isn't just aesthetic, it's preparation. The circular avatar remaining in the top right is a placeholder for the upcoming Nexus Social integration, our Q4 deployment that will introduce peer-to-peer social routing and Grok integrations directly into the fabric of the platform. We built this because no one else would. We built this because the legacy industry is a sinking ship, and we decided to build a sovereign lifeboat. This is day zero. The architecture is locked. The telemetry is live. The mobile builds are queuing for the App Store.